Hi. The reason we wanted to shoot this video, in fact, it was me. I wanted to shoot this video because what we are seeing out there is a lot of you buying these cheaper rebounders, the cheaper rebounders. The purpose of this video is to really talk about this. We've seen rebounders on the market around 2,000 to 3,000 Rand, averaging around 2,500 Rand. This is very, very concerning. Lisa and I had a long discussion about this, and we want to give you some insight into why our rebounders cost what they do and the rationale behind that, the build quality, etc. I want to say something quite controversial right now. If you are going to buy a rebounder in South Africa that is not a bounty rebounder, rather do not rebound. Rather don't. We have seen too many instances of people coming into our store, pinging us on social media, and these are people that are not just clients of ours. These are medical practitioners, physios, etc., telling us that rebounding hurts their clients. And when we ask the question, what rebounder they're using, send us a picture, it's normally one of these cheaper version of rebounders that you find in South Africa. This is a problem. And yes, we've done a lot of work in terms of raising the profile of rebounding and our marketing and our advertising, etc., associated with it. And what folks are doing is they're looking at our workouts thinking, okay, I'm going to go for the bounty workouts, I can do the free live classes, but I'm going to run off and I'm going to get one of these 2,500 or 2,700 rebounders because guess what? It's a full-blown rebounder and it comes with a T-bar. Warning, if you go buy this rebounder, you are going to get hurt. It's like running the Comrades Marathon in the cheapest tacky that you can run on. Would you do that? Would you go off and, run on a treadmill that's the cheapest, crappiest treadmill? So just think about it. The platform upon which you are bouncing needs to be qualitative. And what do we mean by qualitative? When you fall through the mat on a rebounder, there's a few things that are critical. Pronation of your feet, absolutely critical. If you have a bad quality rebounder, the pronation of your feet is very pronounced. Pronation of feet affects your entire body, affects your ergonomics, results in soft tissue damage and a lot of complications. We've seen this over and over. Too many people are getting injured because they're jumping on this other cheaper stuff. In South Africa today, I'll go as far as saying there's no one that is making a rebounder that matches the quality of a bounty rebounder. We haven't seen it yet in South Africa. So if you're watching this video and you're from here, there is no other option. And if you care about your health and you want to embark on this health journey, the last thing you need is rebounding month 1 and then month 2, you have to stop because you've developed some spinal injury or you've developed something that's wrong with your shoulders. And then you're going to badmouth rebounding or you're going to spend so much money on medical bills, just going to the doctor to kind of get back to begin again. Don't buy cheap rebounders. They are bad for your body. They are dangerous. So it's a very serious thing. This is not just about a competition thing, getting you to buy our rebounders. No. So when you're bouncing on a rebounder, that movement, that soft movement initially as you hit the mat, if you've got a dull thud at the bottom, if you've got what we call a flat spot in the bounce, you're doing something really dangerous to your spine and your hips. Rebounding, the movement, the unstable platform is engaging so many more muscles than any other modality. So when you are moving and there's a dull thud, there's a soft dead spot that you may not notice in the beginning, but month 2, month 3 happens and it starts appearing. That's when the injuries come about. This rebound I'm about to show you is a rebounder that is the one that's out there that seems to be quite common. And here's the reason why it's cheap. It has one single bungee cord that runs around the entire frame. It's insane. I would love to make a cheaper derivative of a bounty rebounder with a single cord running all the way around the frame. If you have a studio and you have a rebounder with a single cord all the way around, what happens in a studio when your cord snaps? Your rebounder becomes unusable. It's a dangerous thing because when a single cord snaps, you fall right through the platform. That's an injury that could be very, very serious. That's a liability if you have a studio. There's a reason why we have 42 brackets. Our standard is 36. There's a rationale around that. These bungee cords can pop up on the deluxe. You can go and pop up to 8 of those cords and still continue bouncing. But the reason we have them individually on the frame is to mitigate the risk of these cords snapping and you falling through the platform. We've never had that happen to us in the history that we've had bounty. But we know these single thread cords result in this. So let me show you. Take a look at this. This is the one. Now, first of all, with this rebounder, you'll notice first it's light. Very, very light. Okay, this is not a bounty rebounder. It has one single cord that is weaved all the way around the frame. And if you come closer here, you'll take a look at how the cord doesn't have a bracket. So the webbing, this little piece of material that connects the cord to the mat, is just a loop. There's no bracket. There's no sturdiness to it whatsoever. It's literally looping with the material all the way around. First of all, the frame, super thin. Thin steel, not qualitative. You try and weave. I've tried it before with these rebounders. Try and weave a single cord on a mat like this all the way around a rebounder. It's extremely difficult. So, but here's the thing with these rebounders, right? When you put them down and you bounce on them, they have dead spots. Like when I'm bouncing this, I can feel that when I'm going through this, that I have a dead spot. Now, what I want Georgia to notice also, look at the pronation of my feet on this rebounder, and look at how my feet are kind of curling inwards. It's dead. It's not a good bounce because at the bottom it has that flat spot. If I do a full bounty class, a hit class, on a rebounder like this, often I'm going to develop an injury in my spine, in my hip. So this rebounder, stay away. Anyone that does a single cord rebounder and offers it to you at an inexpensive price, that's a compromise that you're placing on your body and your health when you bounce on it. So single cord all the way around, light, cheap frame. Mat is not qualitative. Look at this. These mats curl. Look at that. They curl, they discolor, they disfigure. I mean, this is not if you want to go cheap, this is what you're going to get. Now let's take a look at the bounty rebounders. Individual cords, each bracket connected individually, each cord connected to the mat. From a physics perspective, the dispersion of weight on impact is more equal, is more gentle on your body. So when you bounce on our rebounders, there are no dead spots. So when you're bouncing on a bounty rebounder, it's soft. So if you take a look at this, the qualitative mat, beautiful skirt all the way around. It's not going to fold in. Each separate bungee cord has a bracket connecting it in a particular way with a particular length. Now the length of these cords is highly created by Lisa. It took her 18 months to get to the point where she called it the Goldilocks bounce. Right. So if you put this rebounder down, ours, and you bounce on it, the feel is completely different. There's no pronation of the feet. It's sturdy, it's solid, it's qualitative. Okay, now, this is the rebounder that we call the Pro. We import this rebounder. This rebounder has everything that you'd want in a rebounder. It's got the spider legs, it's got a large mat surface area, great mat, individual cords, etc. We wanted to improve on this. We wanted to make one of the best rebounders in the entire world. And that's where I want to transition us over to the Deluxe. This rebounder is extraordinary. Why does this rebounder cost 5,000 Rand at present? Each one of these cords on the Deluxe is highly curated. So if you take a look at this cord, the bracket, these cords, this is the best bounce. This cord is manufactured in South Africa. That bracket's custom made for us. We've got 36 cords running all the way around, up to 42. The mat is triple stitched. It's UV resistant. The frame is double the thickness of any of the other rebounders, and the feet are pure rubber. So when you bounce on a Deluxe, you'll feel when you pick up your Deluxe, it's heavier. Look at this. Take a cord off. There it is. Right, 2 little knots. Look at our design. You put it back on there, and boom. So you pop into our store, or you go onto our e-store, and we send you one of these. You can, any one of them are compromised, you can continue bouncing on a Deluxe. Look at the feet. Pure South African-made rubber. This is actually made in the Western Cape. Double the steel frame thickness. The way it attaches to the frame, there's a particular way this leg connects to the frame. The bounce on this is unparalleled, right? It's soft. It's going up and down. There's no pronation of my feet. And I'm bouncing right now in Timberlands. But I mean, this is not where you need to be using bounty soles. But take a look at that. It's soft. It handles up to 180 kilograms. The Pro can handle up to 100 kilograms, but we kind of say 80 to 90. I don't know what the weight category of that thing is there at the end. But you could be like, if you're north of 80 kilograms and you're rebounding on that. Okay, so another factor about these rebounders that are cheaper is the after-sale service. The parts that are available for you to get, be very, very careful. So when you get it, maybe inexpensive, but ask yourself if something goes wrong with it, what's the after-sale service like? Where are you going to go get a part replaced, etc.? That's a key aspect of ours too. We guarantee you a beautiful after-sales experience with all the bits and parts. We stock it all, and we can send it to you. You can shop at our retail store, or we'll recommend something that you can do to kind of fix your issues. So we've got all the spare parts and all of that related to it. If you're going to buy a cheap platform to rebound on, don't rebound. Because if you continue on that cheap rebounder, you're going to develop an injury. And we are seeing too many of these injuries that are quite common, and they are related to these cheaper retail derivatives and some of these locally made rebounders in South Africa. We have multiple years of experience. Each one of these rebounders has so much input from our trainers, from our clients over the years, and from Lisa's high curation. Take your time if you can't afford it. There's lots of payment options. We've tried to make it as easy as possible for you to gain access to it. We don't sell expensive rebounders. We sell rebounders that are highly curated with parts that have a reason and rationale to give you a platform that's not going to hurt your body. That's a big responsibility on our shoulders. And that we take very, very seriously, because when you're embarking on a health and transformation journey, we can't have you stopping halfway because of a weird injury. We can't have something happen to you. It's a massive responsibility that we take on our shoulders. And that's why so much effort and care has gone into your bounty rebounder.